Hey, neighbor.
Hey, neighbor.
Hey, Gio.
Hey, neighbor.
Hello. Thank you
Welcome,
for having
neighbor.
me.
Yeah.
Welcome
Gio.
back.
Welcome. Yes.
This is a continuation. We've been in this coffee shop for hours now, and so we're doing recording again. So some of the ambient sounds are going to be the same. Okay, so you wanted to talk more about food and metabolism and all that. I was curious to hear what you had to say, and also about the socioeconomic aspect of diets and stuff.
Yeah, that was something I had to talk about. Okay, so I had to go through psychologist clearing to get approved for the gastric sleeve.
Right.
And so they wanted to get to the root of my issues with food. And I'm like, honest to God, it was probably because of the fact that I grew up so poor. So then anything extra other than rice and beans was awesome. And
Yeah.
so you associate good paychecks. Mama got a boyfriend.
Positive.
Right. Food stamps was
Reinforcement.
approved. Right. So everything was positive with that. And so it was unfortunate, but I'm like, that's the bad part though, because like I still remember the one time growing up we had a pack of Oreos in the house, and it was because we went to a food pantry and they just happened to
and that
have
was your lucky day.
Right. And so, I'm like, look, I'll be honest with you. It wasn't even like I ate a lot of it. It's just that when it was around,
You were able to feel like you were like really enjoying that moment.
kind of, but then like when there's food and it's served to me, I don't leave anything behind because you knew better than that. And then when I went to college and I was in like a dorm, it was a problem because there's so much food waste. It was depressing.
Yeah.
And I was freaking out because I knew, I'd never grown up in that. So to see it all of a sudden, I was like, holy shit. And so I started to actually do the opposite of what you're supposed to do. I started to not eat at all.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. And then it was like something I could control was to like have it there and not eat it. It was psycho. I don't know. I mean, that's probably not the best terminology.
Well, and I
but
think a lot of it, maybe you weren't associating your time at that place as a positive thing. So you didn't feel
Definitely.
the need to feed yourself in a way that helped you feel good like you were used to. Maybe.
I think
I don't
so.
know.
It was like weird when it was just there.
Yeah.
Like I know that sounds weird, but like,
No, yeah.
anytime I went to the store, I was already portioning out, rationing who got what part of what, because if we got a gallon of milk, my sister was going to have it because she was growing. Orange juice, like, oh my God, girl. There was a time when I dropped a gallon of orange juice and it shattered and I cried. Like, I'm still getting tears right now, but it was because I was like, fuck, I fucked it up. Like, we're not going to have orange juice now for like another month.
So can I ask, like, at this time, were you getting any sort of pressures about your weight from your mom as well?
Well, yeah, because, anything that I ate was WIC. And at the time, they didn't understand nutrition. So what was I getting? Peanut butter, beans, tuna in a can, juicy juice,
bread, milk and cheese and all the
basically
things that
it was
are
high fat, high calorie, high everything. So and you did not get to choose. There was no arguing with it. You just got what you got and you ate what you ate. And then when it was running out, you knew it was close to payday.
Yeah.
So
you were waiting for, like, you would ration.
Yes. And then like summers were horrendous because
there's no school to eat at school.
Right. So that was 3 meals to put on a table.
Yeah.
And like, girl, I had a potato famine. That was, there was one fucking solid week when all we had was mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
With mayonnaise and
different
Mrs.
things
Dash.
mom could find. Yeah. I remember, and the thing is, like, I just had an incident with a friend of mine, our friend, where she was, I made dinner and I was sharing the food that I made because I was kind of proud. I don't cook.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm learning to cook. It's really exciting.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But she took a bowl of food and then she asked for seconds. And I'm like, you can't have seconds. I need to figure out if I'm going to eat tomorrow.
That was another thing is that like watching my husband's food portions, I'm like, oh my God, this has got to last us all week. I already had the number of everything
and
calculated.
I
for
haven't
no
done
reason.
that. So like as I was putting away my food after we had our gathering and she went home, like I was figuring out, oh no, like I actually have more than enough for everyone to have had seconds. So like I had to explain to her like, hey, I'm really sorry that I was like denying you of having a second portion of something that I made to share.
Yeah.
But I have food anxiety and I'm still kind of dealing with that. So I'm like, I'm going to be dropping off some leftovers for her with
and
a little
that's not
note.
something that a lot of like very few of my friends know what that's about.
Yeah.
And it's like
I can tell
I
that you have
understand.
never been hungry. It shows. It
Yeah.
shows when you've never been hungry.
right, because
I had to talk to my roommate about that. She was where I work. Any leftover food the employees are allowed to take for free, and so she was bringing these like breakfast burritos home to literally just throw them
No, what?
at things. Like
What?
yeah. Like she
Why?
wasn't eating them. She was like her and her boyfriend were going and driving around and like
Oh my
throwing
God.
these things at like stop
That's so
signs for
fucking
fun.
violent.
And so I had
That
to
is
sit
so
down
weird,
with her one
yeah.
day and talk to her. And I was like, I literally cannot handle watching you waste food like this.
That's
Yes.
food that
I-
represents me too. I'm a Mexican woman, and I like deeply associate myself with burritos.
Right. Well, no, I didn't tell her that, but I was just like,
No,
I
that's me.
literally
Like-
like, I can't sit here and watch you waste this.
Yeah,
like,
that's fucked up.
like for all you know, this one burrito could have been one of our coworkers' only meal that day.
Yeah.
And you're taking it and you're literally throwing it in
like a
the
donate
trash.
it or
If you
something.
ever have
I don't
anything
know.
like that, please let me know. I have friends at Food Not Bombs who are trying to collect food waste and
we
make
already
meals
donate a
from
lot
it.
of food to the shelter and
No,
the
they're different. They don't require people to sign up or do paperwork to get access to the food that they're making. It's just
Yeah.
kind of it's called Food Not Bombs, and I recommend everyone who's in locally in Lawrence to check them out
Yeah.
and do a
I-
volunteership in that
That's actually
program
how
if you
I've
can.
gotten my relationship a little bit better. Is I started volunteering at at events the community does where they give out meals to needy families, which
Yeah.
first of all, we received every Christmas. So there would be none of that if not for the generosity of people. But somehow just being able to be on the other side of it is healing in a way because I know that it sounds bizarre, but until you've been there, it just doesn't make any sense.
It's like the circle of life.
Yeah, just about.
You
Because
should if you have the time and the energy and the resources to give people the
Yes.
things back, you should totally do
definitely.
it. It literally doesn't affect you in a negative way ever.
It's actually really positive, especially because I can't eat any of that shit now.
Yeah.
But,
I can I can attest to that for sure.
yeah, it's
well, and
weird.
it's like you were saying, you can tell when someone's never gone hungry.
Yeah.
And like her doing that, it was like, and I told her, I was like, I grew up very poor.
Yeah.
Right.
And so like that was not something we did. And for me to see you waste food like that just very nonchalantly is kind of a slap in the face.
It's a slap in the face to a lot of hungry people.
like I will literally to this day still eat produce until it is very questionable. I've made myself sick quite a few times because I was just like, let me just cut this moldy chunk off this strawberry and
good,
still
it's
eat
fine.
it.
You can just scoop out the part that doesn't look all
Well,
that great.
there's a
yeah,
lot
you
of
do with
like
cheese too. You know?
Well, and the thing is, like, think about how we're also like sitting in this very like quote unquote metropolitan space right now, and yet we are actually in a food desert. Like
Yeah.
people right here, right now, don't have access to
Food.
like produce or natural, like good, healthy food. You have to go all the way up the hill to the Merck or the Dillons, or there's nothing like really accessible in the downtown area. And I don't know.
I appreciate the fact that the food stamps program has partnered with like the farmers market.
Yes.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
that funds the farmers, which feeds the people. That's pretty cool.
That's
I
a
love
good
that
program.
So I'm never shy about buying there, and so and I buy in small quantities what I can or whatever. But that's something I did have to give up after surgery. Was not. This sounds weird too, but another thing that I would do was, without even thinking about it, I would just starve myself all day.
Yeah, I think I remember how you would like wait until like
Until I
you
was
were
nearly
desperately
about to
hungry,
pass out.
and then you would think about maybe feeding yourself, or you would find something that was super not healthy for you.
And I don't know why.
And I would help participate. I will be real. Like
No,
that's
I mean-
kind of like how I function as well. So
Yeah,
It's not
it was
uncommon.
not good, and I don't know. So it was really weird, and I get it. It's fine. I'm over it now. But that was something I had to work through, I think.
You know, I'm pretty sure that eating all the weird canned meats are why I'm vegetarian.
Oh, probably.
My grandpa was always cooking Spam and Vienna sausages.
Oh, shit. That's all we could have.
Shit's nasty.
I was excited when we had Vienna sausage rice day at home. I was like, shit, yeah, that's my shit right there.
A few weeks ago, BB and I went over to a new friend's house, and she had made pizza, but then she also busted out this bowl of stuff, and I was like, I hope y'all like tuna and corn, and I was like, what?
Tuna, mayonnaise, corn.
In
That's
my
it.
life, like my family made that shit all the time. We called it poor people food.
Uh-huh.
But like I had never met other people.
Yeah, we
that
do
did
it.
that, and she just out of nowhere like it pulls out this bowl, and she's like, I hope y'all like this, and I was like,
she's awesome.
I
I
got
love
two
her.
different types of tuna salad: the 2-can salad and the 4-can salad because fucking wick. Okay,
well, we ate stuff too. Like, so this is something I still make all the time, and I call it ketchup eggs. But it's just like corn tortillas, and you kind of fry them a little bit, and you crack eggs over it, so you scramble it all together.
My mom used to make pizza rice because we had leftover pepperonis from who knows what the fuck because we didn't make we didn't make pizza because that would require turning on the fucking oven and using more electricity.
Gotta use gas.
Right. So that was not happening. But then
Also storage for all your other pots and
I
pans.
hate that when I go to my parents' house.
Oh my God.
I turn on the oven, and my mom was like, take everything out. And I'm like, God damn it.
When I was in Mexico, I met a grandma that would hide the cookies in the oven
that's a
behind
good
all the
idea.
pots and pans.
We're like in the cake pan.
Yeah.
oh my
See,
God.
at my house, I don't keep that shit in the oven because I'm trying to
never
use
had
it right
cookies.
away.
We never had cookies in a jar somewhere. Who the fuck puts food in a jar to be eaten later? Like, sorry.
I'm still trying to get to that level in my life where I can get a cookie jar.
I have a small jar.
That's my
have it, but it's
aspiration for
fucking empty.
adulthood.
Like-
I have a small jar with thyme in it, the spice thyme,
shit.
but the
Having-
jar's literally like an inch tall. It's the
My
tiniest
sister has to learn how
jar.
to cook with spice because there was no fucking WIC coupon for spices. Like
No salt.
So you ate your fucking rice plain as shit. Like
Damn, I don't
Yeah.
like that. My mom always had like
Salt,
cumin
pepper,
or
and,
something in it.
salt, pepper, and those bouillon cubes.
Yeah. Well, my grandma would always like stuff her little bags with stuff because every
that
summer.
blew my fucking mind. By the way, the first time I made rice with broth, I was like, shit, this is
It's
fancy.
so good. It's so good.
Right.
But yeah, when I was little, I would go to Mexico every summer of my
Yes.
life.
Yeah,
Right.
same. We went to Juarez.
Never been to Puerto Rico still, but sorry,
We should go.
I can't afford a fucking ticket. So
We'll swim down.
once
It's in our
Joel's out of
blood.
the reserves, then we can probably go somewhere. But he has to use all
Maybe
sick
they
days
could
right
just
now. but-
deport us to Mexico and then we'll get it'll be
Anytime
cheaper.
that someone says go back to where country you came from, I'm like, bye, bitches. I would love to go back. I'm sorry,
Germany's
but
great right
Right.
now.
Joel, when we first met, I used to love Vienna sausages, right? So,
This shit makes me sick to just think about
oh
it.
God, I'm gonna walk up in the Dollar Tree tomorrow and buy me some. So, so when
I like
Joel,
getting cheap Pringles there.
Oh
Yeah.
God, Pringles is too fancy. Okay, so we didn't have money for no Pringles.
I'm talking about Dollar Tree.
Throw a tortilla on the stove and that's your
Wait
chips.
till it get crunchy. It gets crunchy.
Yes, burn a tortilla, crunch that shit up, put it in a
Did you ever
Ziploc
put
bag. You got your chips.
the butter on a tortilla with some
yes.
sugar?
Oh my
Yes.
God,
So good.
no sugar but butter because sugar is
The
a
butter
carb,
is good.
so-
Yeah, the butter is just.
I was like, the first time I heard Joel dog on my Vienna sausages, he's like,
he's like
oh,
a
that's-
chef. Was he a chef at the time
I
though?
was like, bitch, excuse me. Just because you got Whole Foods in Mexico.
What do you
so-
wait? What was the
There's
question?
a Whole Foods in
Oh,
Mexico?
no, not that kind of Whole Foods. I meant like you just go to any market
Oh, I
and it's
was
just
like-
regular ass fruit.
Yeah, it's
So,
beautiful. I love going
It's
grocery
really
shopping in
accessible
Mexico.
there. But here,
Yeah, my aunt always brings me giant ass blocks of my favorite cheese from Mexico when she comes.
Oh yeah, that's what my grandma did after we come back from our pilgrimage to Mexico. It was like Mecca for us, I guess.
Don't eat the fruit on the bus.
Girl, I ate everything. I have
on
a
the
strong.
bus.
No, I ate the burritos and the churros and
That's
the.
different. The fruit.
I ate the fruit. I got the mango. I got the jicama.
Eat everything but the fruit.
I ate everything because I had the stomach of a Mexican person.
well, because you were there more
yeah,
often.
I
so
was
you were,
there
yeah.
every fucking week,
Right.
or every month, every year. I was
Yeah.
there until I was 15 years old.
Yeah,
I would go
I went
on
every year until I was 12.
Yeah. And then I got to be like, I was there for 3 months out of the year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So your whole
That's
summer
a good
vacation.
chunk of your
My life, yeah.
That's
And-
a quarter of it,
well, and
really.
the thing
in
is
that,
that
in that time frame.
It was cheaper for my family to send me off to Mexico than it was to have them in my